Entrepreneurship. Such a big word and it sounds like it's fun, but listen, it's hard. There's a lot of tough decisions to be made. It takes a lot of time, a lot of work. There's times where you have to turn down something fun to do because you have to do inventory or paperwork or the parts of your business that aren't necessarily fun. And most of us, we can't do it without support. We can't do it without that great support system of our family and of our friends. And then there's times where crickets, that support system feels like it's not existent. You feel like you're not receiving any support from your family or friends. And it's disappointing and it's stressful and it's upsetting. And sometimes we don't know what to do about it. Hi, I'm Lisa with Candles by Sincerely Ice Blue. Happy New Year. On this channel, we talk all about the business of making candles, selling candles, and all of the everything that comes in between. And I'm going to be honest with you, that in between is more than I ever considered when I started out in this business. If you're new here, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, become part of the channel so you can join along in all the different conversations. Click on that little bell so that you're notified as new videos come out. And I'm excited to talk to you today. It is hard. It is really hard to feel like your friends and family aren't supporting you. But there's a lot of different things that you have to put into perspective when you're looking at that. And you'll scroll through your social media and everybody's liking and talking and sharing. And they're not doing that on your business pages or your business posts. So you just feel let down. You feel like they're not supporting you. And it's really hard. It's hard not to feel angry and just frustrated. So before you become offended or disheartened on why your family and friends aren't purchasing from you or supporting you the way you want them to, let's take a look at why. The number one reality is your target market is not your friends and family. It's just not. And sometimes we want it to be. We don't know where to get started. I am not going to be able to sustain a small business enterprise by relying on friends and family. It's just not how a business is run. If you owned a coffee shop or a retail store of any kind, a brick and mortar store, you're not going to stay in business if the only people coming into your store are friends and family, right? It's just how it is. So the first thing you have to get out of your head is that your friends and family owe it to you to buy from you. And I know it's really hard because during the pandemic, especially during the pandemic, I did a lot of buying from friends and family. Didn't have their own business that they were starting, but there was all the online sales, people doing the various Pampered Chef parties and Lulamons and just all kinds of different things that I was invited to. It felt like every week I was getting an invite to come to my online party, buy this, buy that, so I can get freebies. And I did it. I would try and buy something, even if it was something small, from pretty much everybody that invited me to a party. So when I started this business and I created my Facebook page and I sent it out to everybody, I immediately figured that everybody would like my page and share my page and have questions and want to buy from me. And when that didn't happen, oh my gosh, I was so upset and so frustrated by it. And I ranted and raved to my husband and I let it get to me and I let it break my heart. Until I took a step back and realized that they're not my target market. So before we get into that, let's talk about the other things that might be affecting why family and friends aren't buying from you. Number one, plain and simple, you haven't asked them. And as somebody that used to do professional sales training, that's one of the biggest flaws of salespeople. They don't ask for the deal. They don't ask for the order. Have you asked your family and friends to buy from you? The assumption that just because you started a business, you're going to automatically attract customers, particularly family and friends, is wrong. It's something we have to get out of our head. That takes me to number 2. Don't assume that they're your ideal customer. Did you create a candle just because somebody made a statement about a certain scent or flavor? And I did that. My aunt, when I started posting my business that my page was coming soon, she asked me flat out if I would have any apple scents. So the very first candle I started working on had an apple scent to it. And I was so happy when I created it. And I sent her a message and told her it was done. And I posted it, and I posted pictures, and I posted links that it was ready. And it was the first one I was launching. And crickets. I never heard from her on it. And that kind of upset me. So, do you know she never responded to even my DM? But yet, she will comment on my posts. And I kind of realized over the course of her doing this for a couple months that she's not my ideal customer. Maybe they are already purchasing from another friend or a local market, or they have a favorite scent, or maybe you're just assuming that they like candles. And what's not to assume about that? We all have candles, birthdays and romance and ambiance. Almost everybody has candles in their home. And maybe you've gone to your friend's house and seen a display of candles, and you see them from different places. They get them from different retail stores. And so you're assuming that they'll just buy from you, but they may be already committed to another scent or another supplier. They're not your ideal customer right now, but that's okay because they're not your target audience. Number 3. Are you a serial entrepreneur? And what I mean by that is, how many businesses have you tried starting? What have you done in the past that you have targeted your family and friends to buy from you? Did you put too much pressure on people to buy from you? And let's face it, as a human race, when people put pressure on us to do anything, we're less likely to do it. So if you make them feel like they're pressured in any way, or maybe this is your 3rd, 4th, 5th, 10th business that you're working on starting, even if you were successful or are successful in the other ones, they may just feel like this is a fly-by-night, it's not going to last, so I'm not going to bother. Number 4, maybe they just don't have the money right now. You don't know somebody's financial situation. And maybe in your mind, you see that they go out every morning and get the fancy cup of coffee and pay $6 to $10 for that. And you know, if they just gave up 2 coffees, they could buy 1 or 2 of your candles or your wax melts or your room sprays. But maybe that's their one indulgence a day that they get. You don't know. You don't know somebody's financial situation. And unless they're your best friend, and even then, people don't want to tell you that they're having financial struggles. Number 5. Number 5's a hard one. And that's, maybe they just don't want your product. Maybe they just don't want it. And again, I said, maybe you've gone to their house and you've seen candles, or they've talked about buying candles. It doesn't matter. You know they use candles. You know they use room sprays. You know they use wax melts. But for some reason, maybe they just don't want your product. And that's okay. Don't take that personally, because let's face it, you have your own preferences. There's things you like and don't like that your friends have or sell. And you know what? They don't want to be, in their mind, mean. They don't want to say, hey, you know what, Lisa? I just don't like it. I just don't like the candles you're selling. I don't like soy. I don't like the paraffin. I don't like something about what you're selling, and I don't want to tell you because A, I don't want to be confrontational, or B, I don't want you to feel like you have to change it because I don't like it. Then they also may feel like if they tell you they don't like it, that you may do the pressure sales. You may try and convince them of why they should like it or why they should just try it. So think about that. Even sometimes you may say to your friends, there's a new restaurant in town and we should go try that. And it's Italian and it's this or that and the other. And they say, I'm really not interested in that. But you really want to go. What is it by nature that you end up doing? You try and sell them on why they should give in and go with you. And if you've ever talked somebody into something, buying something, going somewhere, doing something, and their heart just wasn't in it, you know that that ends up being a very not enjoyable experience. They may try and like it for your sake. They may try and tell you, oh yeah, I had a great time. You can just tell they didn't. So maybe somebody just doesn't like your product for whatever reason. That's okay. Everything we make is not for everybody. Every product out there is not for everybody. That's why there's so many options of products for us all to try. That's the beauty of this business. One person doesn't like it, the next person will. Okay, and the last one I'm going to say is number 6. And that's just that you have put pressure on them and just made it obvious to them or made them feel like they owe you. They have to buy from you. So maybe you were like me and you bought from one of everybody's shows when they had one. Or you went to their garage sales, or there's so many ors. And whatever the case may be, in your heart, you're thinking, oh, come on, I've done XYZ. You can at least buy a candle from me. It's one candle. And people don't like to feel like they owe people, and they don't like to do things because they feel like they owe people. And if you pressure somebody into purchasing your products because they owe you, their family, their friends, come on, Jane, you're my best friend. Buy a candle from me. That creates animosity. And what if Jane buys that candle and just throws it away? What if you go to Jane's house and you don't see that candle anywhere? And you say, hey, how did you like that candle? And she never burned it, and she gave it away, or she threw it away. Now she's got to lie to you, or now she's got to make up a story, and you've been friends for a long time, so you can tell when she's lying. Do you see how this can snowball? So family and friends are not your target market. And you kind of have to look at this like, it doesn't mean they're not supportive. It just means that they're not your target market. You cannot run a small business and rely 100% on family and friends. So everybody has a budget. Everybody has different needs, likes, dislikes, opinions. That's great. And you know what we're going to use that for? We're going to use that all for something called the 84 rule. You need to create 84 candles and give them away before you can even get started in your business. So that's where the family and friends comes in. Create 84 candles and give them away to your family and friends. Why would I want to do that? I know that's what you're saying because that's exactly what I said. Being successful as a candle maker and having a small business requires 2 skills: candle making skills and business skills. And most people, most of us, we don't have those when we decide to get started in this business. As you may notice, if you're on a bunch of the different Facebook pages, is that candle making, small businesses in general, but candle making has a very high dropout rate because there's a lot that goes into it. And the rule of 84 is how you're going to get started. You're going to get a lot of valuable feedback. Feedback on things that when you start making candles, you don't even realize are things you need feedback on. And that's, how does my candles look? How is the hot throw? How is the cold throw? Does it fill up a whole room? What size room does it fill up? Does it smell for hours? Does it smell for minutes? How does it burn? Does it tunnel? Does it get too hot? Does the jar crack? How does that vessel look? How does the vessel react? Is the vessel reusable? Which wicks work best? How do they burn? Do they create black soot? Is there no soot? Hours will my candles burn? And then when you're making the 84 candles, there is so much more to consider on the back end. And I'm going to tell you something. When you start making these 84 candles, when you make your first couple, you're probably going to start out with a kit. And you're not going to be able to sustain a business making them from kits. But it's a great way to start and test and try it. But then you have to develop your own. You have to buy all the tools. You have to figure out how to buy the wax, how much wax, how much fragrance oil, how many wicks, where am I going to store it, packaging, labeling, pricing. By making 84 candles and giving those away, you're going to get all the valuable feedback, but you're also going to have feedback for yourself. What works, what doesn't, what tools do I need? Then your business starts to come together. You have to master your craft. You have to master candle making. You have to understand business. You have to understand what you want from this business. So hopefully we'll be able to talk more about that throughout the year, because as I said at the very beginning of my video, we talk about making candles, selling candles, and everything that comes in between. And over the next year, we're going to talk about all of that everything. How do we market this, my target markets? Because there's a lot of different videos out there. There's so many videos, and I encourage you to watch them. Spend at least an hour a day watching how to make your craft. So, that being said, that's what I have for you today. And like I always end all of my videos, I want you to live your life out loud. And I want you, if you want to embrace this business, to embrace it and become the master of it and love it and enjoy it. I don't want you to get up in the morning and think, what did I get myself into? I don't want to do this. I have an order. I'm over it. Or I have all of this stuff. How do I sell it off? I'm over it. I don't want you to do that. I want you to be successful. And what I want you to do this week is just take a couple minutes, take an hour, take whatever time you need. I want you to make your candle making vision board. But if you've never done a vision board, you can look them up on Pinterest, and there's tons of videos out there. But a vision board is simply just your goals for 2023 or for the next year, whatever year it is that you're watching this, on what you want to achieve. What do you want to achieve? What's your target market? What's your goal? Where do you want to be in December at the end of this year? Make your vision board. Make it about you. Make it about your business. That's what I got for you for now. So don't be discouraged at family and friends, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.